Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Helfrich, and I'm the Client Delivery Manager at Titan Health. I've been with Titan for 13 years, and during my time with Titan, I have really come to understand the various ways that providers are underpaid for their services, whether the root of that underpayment is on the payer side or if it begins at the billing and coding side of the claim. In my role with Titan, not only do I help identify these areas of underpayment opportunity, I work with our clients to identify the ways in which this missed revenue can be captured either prior to the claim being submitted or when conducting their post-payment reviews. So with all that said, let's get started with an overview. Today, I will be going over 3 separate ways you can review your hospital accounts to ensure that your facility is being reimbursed appropriately and as your payer contracts intend for the use of skin substitute products. But first, let's talk about how to identify a skin substitute code. The most common skin substitute products are assigned a HCPCS code in the range of Q4100 through Q4255. It is important to remember that HCPCS codes are updated annually, going into effect January 1st of each year, and then quarterly throughout the year. It is best to review your HCPCS code updates quarterly to ensure that if any skin substitute codes are new, that your claim edits and auditing logic. In addition, this is a best practice to ensure other codes, not necessarily related to skin substitutes, are updated in your hospital CDM. Code selection for your skin substitute is based on the type of skin substitute product applied, such as Alloderm, Dermagraft, Apligraft, etc. The physician's operative report and copies of the implant documentation will help determine the most specific code selection. Skin substitutes can be made in different types of material, such as autografts. These are grafts from tissue from the patient's own body. Allografts, which are tissue grafts from a donor site of the same species, another human, but not from the patient themselves. Xenografts. These are tissue grafts from a donor from a different species from the recipient. Porcine grafts are the most commonly used xenograft, and that's often seen with burn and wound care services. Now that we've talked about skin substitutes, which codes are assigned, and the various types, let's talk about the 3 tactics that can be used to ensure you're being reimbursed appropriately. Most skin substitute codes have instruction to report 1 unit per every square centimeter of the product applied. This is important when your payer contracts reimburse based on the number of units billed, opposed to a % of the billed charge. Here you can see a common skin substitute code, Q4116 for Alloderm, with code instructions that advise you this code is reported per square centimeter. Skin substitutes come from their manufacturer in various size sheets. They can have just a few square centimeters or upwards of 300 or more square centimeters per sheet. To ensure you're being paid correctly, review the operative report that cites how many square centimeters of the product was used and ensure your reported units equate to the number of square centimeters applied. A common mistake we see in the hospital CDM is when that CDM is loaded with 1 unit, representing 1 entire sheet of the product, but several square centimeters are included on that sheet. That may be okay if your contract reimburses your facility based on your total billed charge for that 1 sheet. But for those payers who reimburse fee for service per unit billed, this will result in considerable underpayments if the CDM automatically only reports 1 unit per sheet. Let's put this into perspective with an example. A common size Alloderm is 320 square centimeters per sheet. The Arizona Medicaid website reports directly on their outpatient fee schedule that the per unit rate for Alloderm, Q4116, is $31.05. If your claim bills 1 unit to represent 1 entire sheet, your facility will only be reimbursed $31.05. But if you ensure that your units are reported properly with 1 unit for each square centimeter, your claim would bill 320 units, which calculated at $31.05 per unit, that would reimburse $9,936, $5 more on just 1 claim, just from simply making sure your units are accurately reported. The next step in making sure you're being properly reimbursed for your skin substitute codes is understanding the revenue code options you have and the impact the revenue code has on reimbursement of your claim. This slide shows you, using Alloderm Q4116 again, that revenue code selection isn't always cut and dry. Here you can see that both revenue code 278 for implants and 636 for pharmacy are appropriate for this item. But how do you know which one to use to make the most financial impact? Your payer contract terms or payer billing requirements will play a role in your revenue code selection. Contract terms specify how and when implant items under revenue code 278 and pharmacy items, revenue code 636, will be paid. Oftentimes, the surgery itself is reimbursed at a case rate, but some contracts allow for carve-out reimbursement for implants, pharmacy, or both. Knowing the specifics of your payer contracts will help you determine which revenue codes should be considered when billing. It is important to mention that not all payer contracts are the same. Your commercial carriers may require revenue code 278, your state Medicaid plan may require 636. This means that your claim edits will need to be payer specific to what your payer requires in order to reimburse you as your contract intends. To ensure that you're applying proper revenue codes, always refer to your trusted coding resources. In addition, you'll want to consult your facility's revenue integrity department or whoever oversees the charge description master in order to ensure that your revenue code changes are appropriate for your facility compliance policies you may have in place. We have now arrived to our last topic for the day in ensuring you're being reimbursed appropriately. So now that you've confirmed your skin substitute item has been billed correctly, what about the CPT code that represents the application of the skin substitute itself? This is a procedure after all. Whenever you have a skin substitute billed, you should also have a CPT code, generally in the range of 15271 through 15278, to represent the item as having been placed. The proper CPT code selection is based on the area of the body that the skin substitute is placed, along with the total square centimeters applied. You can add together the total surface area of multiple wounds in the same anatomic site grouping found in the CPT code description, such as the trunks, arms, and legs. But do not add together surface area for site groupings that are not in the same anatomical location as described by the CPT code. Let's take a look at some CPT codes as an example. Here you will see the code description for CPT code 15271, which has some add-on codes available of 15272, 15273, and 15274. Reading the CPT code description, you can see that the code represents the trunk, arms, and legs. You can add together the size of the wounds in any of these areas, but do not add in the size of wounds in areas other than this. Then, once you know the total wound surface area, you can proceed with your CPT code selection. Now we will look at the next range of CPT codes, 15275 through 15278. Here you will see these codes apply to wounds of the face, scalp, eyelids, mouth, neck, ears, genitalia, hands, feet, and digits. Same as the prior slide, you can add together the wound size for any of these body areas and then use that total surface area to assist you in your proper code selection. Lastly, I will leave you with this final coding tip. Build billing software edits that recognize the billing of CPT codes 15271 through 15278. When these codes are billed, your claim should also contain the skin substitute code, typically in the range of Q4100 through Q4255. Your contract management software can only determine the appropriate reimbursement for codes that make it on the claim. If you leave any codes off in error, your contract management may never catch it. By building in billing edits that capture this prior to claim submission, you can ensure that your contract management software calculates the proper expected reimbursement on the front end prior to your claim being processed. This puts an accurate remaining balance on the account for your team to then use when determining if account has been paid correctly. On behalf of Titan Health, thank you for your time today. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have, or if Titan Health can be of any revenue integrity solutions for your facility. If you like content like this, please make sure to subscribe on our website, and you can also follow us on social media where we regularly share informational content like this. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time.